What you wanna know?
What's going on, people? Myke ctown here with our episode of What Do You Want to Know, where you ask your questions. If I like your questions, I answer your questions on camera. So yeah, I was going to do a vinyl video today, but after the fuckery from the last couple of videos, I just didn't really feel like talking about music. So, we're going to do this instead. So yeah, I have a question that I think will be kind of fun to answer. Joe the Fixer asks, have you ever had a near-death experience? So I actually have two stories about this particular subject, so I may make this a two-part video, even though those don't typically do very well on my channel. I don't know why, but I don't know, I gotta tell this story first because it's older than the other one, even though I think the other one is a better story. But yeah, so this one first. So this happened probably almost 20 years ago at this point. I had moved to Florida for a little while. I hated it, and I moved back to Atlanta. So I was living with my mom for about 2 months while I saved up money. I was working at some fucking lame-ass upscale hair salon and spa in Conyers, which is a whole other story because being the only black dude at a rich white salon, bro, I had old white women throwing their draws at me, like them extra crisp iron draws, at me all day long. Draws so long they look like fucking bodysuits, man. But I digress. So I had gone out with my boy Henry Derrick and some other people, and this is before I drank. So at the bar I was just ordering Cokes, which were unlimited refills. So I was tearing them shits up. So I'm thinking I had probably fucking 6 cups of Coke while I was at the bar, and I didn't pee while I was there, but on the way home, it hit me, and it hit me fucking hard. So I pulled off and went into the Walmart that was right off the exit. I went to the bathroom, and nothing would come out. Like, I felt like I had to pee, but nothing was happening, which was really, really weird. So I get home, and I try to pee again, nothing at all comes out. So I'm starting to freak out at this point, and I'm thinking, as most dumb kids think, well, I'll just go to bed and go to sleep. And when I wake up, everything will be fine. So I lay down, and after about an hour, it really, really hits me. I start feeling fucking lightheaded. I'm having an extreme pain in my lower abdomen area, and it's like my brain, it's not functioning properly. So by this point, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, but I seriously felt like I was about to die. So I fucking stumbled into my mom's room. I woke her up, and I was like, I have to go to the hospital. I don't know what's wrong with me. By the time she got the car around to get me, I could barely see, which was really weird. Like, my vision was really blurry. I got in the car, and we're racing to the hospital. She's running red lights and shit. And the weird thing is, while I'm in the car, I can't focus on anything. All I'm seeing are like these weird swirls of color, and I'm like, maybe somebody drugged my drink. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I'm in this immense amount of pain. So we get to the hospital, and after being in the lobby for a little bit, they take me back, and by this point, I can feel a puffed up area in my abdomen, and it hurts so bad to touch, and I'm in so much pain that I could barely talk. And I told the nurse, who's this 7 foot tall African dude, that I felt like I had to pee, but nothing was coming out. And he says, you know, okay, we need to clear the blockage. And I'm like, yes, fucking fantastic idea. Let's clear the blockage, man. He pulls out this fucking tube, man, and I'm like, okay, what the fuck you think you're gonna do with that? And he says, it is a catheter. It is going to go into your pee-pee hole. And I'm like, bruh, you're out of your fucking mind. There's no way in hell that shit's gonna fit in my dick hole. And he says, oh, it will fit. And I look over at my mom, and she's like, I'm out. So this fool, he whips my dick out and starts shoving this tube in my dick hole. And I don't remember if there was any lube. I'm pretty sure there wasn't, but I remember it was the worst pain I'd ever felt in my entire life. I was literally screaming at the top of my lungs. You guys have no idea how bad this shit hurt. Like, I was praying to pass the fuck out. So the problem is, once I got the catheter in, nothing was coming out still. So they take me to get an x-ray, and oh god, dude, fuck. Just thinking about this makes me want to fucking throw up. So the chick that was getting me out of my wheelchair to get me into the x-ray machine, guess what she does? Yeah, she steps on the fucking tube, which pulls it out of the dick hole a little bit, and it was absolutely excruciating. I remember screaming again as loud. My mom said she could hear me in the waiting room. I get in the x-ray and it turns out that what's happened is I have a very large kidney stone and it's worked its way from my kidneys into my urinary tract and it's completely blocked it off, which wouldn't have been a huge deal had I not had those 6 Cokes earlier that evening. So I couldn't pee any of it out and it was just filling up my bladder. And the doctor said if I had waited any longer, my bladder could have burst and I could have been poisoned with the toxins from the urine and I could have died, which I actually think is very rare if I'm not mistaken. I remember looking it up years ago. I haven't in a while, but the doctor said that this was a possibility, so fuck, I went with it. So their way of getting the kidney stone out was to put a needle in the side of the catheter and push air into it, which again, you guys have no fucking idea how bad this shit hurt. And what they were hoping would do is this would move the stone back up so the urine could come around it and out. And it did work. And y'all, when I finally got to pee, holy shit, it was like the best sex you've ever had in your entire existence. It was amazing. I never knew peeing could feel so fucking great. So this is when the doctor comes in and said that she'd realized that I hadn't had any painkillers. And I was like, oh, that's a fucking option? See, I didn't have health insurance, so I guess they didn't want to waste the painkillers on me and they just didn't really give a shit how I felt. But she gave me something in my IV and I remember it felt like heaven. And I remember actually telling her that she was an angel. So after I got a bunch, and I mean a bunch of piss out, they sent me home with some painkillers. And I remember I ended up taking them incorrectly. They told me to take one every 3 hours, one every 6, but they didn't tell me that you're not supposed to take on that 6th hour, you're not supposed to take both of the painkillers. So I was high as fuck for days, bruh. But I'm gonna tell you the worst part about all of this is afterwards, when they told you that they want you to pee into a strainer so you can catch the kidney stones. But what they didn't tell me was that the first 12 or so times that I peed, it was gonna feel like I was pissing razor blades because that motherfucking catheter, I guess it had fucking torn up some shit inside my wiener hole. Dude, I remember the first time I pissed, I was holding the sink and shaking so I didn't collapse. Pissing in a strainer didn't happen. So that's it for the story. I'm not sure if that really counts as a near-death experience, but like I said, the doctors and the nurse told me that I could have died had the urine start to back up into my system. So I'm a dumbass kid who went to art school. I'm not the smartest fucking dude on the block, so I'm gonna go with what the doctor said. Either way, that's it. Maybe I'll drop the other story later this week or maybe next week if you guys even give a shit about the other story, if you guys enjoyed this one. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Anyways, as usual, thank you for living, thank you for loving, thank you for being you, and I'll see you guys next time. Alright? Peace, bitches.